Most printer cartridges can be refilled, and if we can't refill, we can offer some kind of a low-cost alternative, such as a compatible cartridge. There may be a period of time, so when a brand new printer has just hit the market, it could take us about 12 months to come up with the exact right ink or the right filling technique. But generally within 12 months, we have some kind of reliable low-cost alternative. Sometimes if you've bought a printer just when it's hit the market, you might have to buy original brand cartridges for the first 12 months. Generally, you will save at least 30 to 40% versus the price of an original brand cartridge, but often it can be a lot more than that. There's no problem with your printer. What's happened is your printer has come with starter cartridges. All printers come with starter cartridges, and this means the manufacturer has only filled your cartridge to about 25% of the level that a normal cartridge will be filled to. The idea here is that before very long you will have to go and buy original brand cartridges, and the reason for this is in this model the manufacturer doesn't make their money from the printer, they make their money from the ink. So that's just unfortunately the way the ink cartridge industry works. Here, it really depends on the type of printer that you have. At the lower end of the market, if you have a printer that has 2 cartridges, typically Canon or HP, when we refill them, the one downside is that you cannot actually see how much ink you have left in the cartridge. So the cartridge will print away absolutely fine, but you only know your ink is empty when the quality starts to fade. And this can be a little bit frustrating, but most customers learn to live with it because the savings are so great. The other type of cartridge is what's called an ink tank cartridge, and that's typically a printer that takes 4 or even 5 cartridges. With these cartridges, we can usually reset the chip or replace the chip, which means you can tell exactly how much ink is left and you get the exact same experience you would get if you were using an original brand cartridge. That depends on a couple of factors, but with a printer that takes 2 cartridges, we would say a maximum of 3 refills, but possibly less if you're a very infrequent user and the cartridges are lying idle for long periods of time. But what I can say is we do an assessment on the cartridge before you refill it. We can tell exactly when the cartridge was first refilled. We keep a record of all our refills on our system, so we'll know how many times it's been refilled. And we also do an electronic test to make sure the electronics are in working order. And then after refilling, we do a print quality test. So there's no risk to you. Everything is tested, and we will let you know if we don't think your cartridge is suitable for refilling. It depends on the type of cartridge that you have. If you have a printer that takes 2 cartridges, so a black and a tricolor cartridge, typically it takes about 10 minutes to refill your black cartridge or 30 minutes to refill both the black and the tricolor. If you have a printer that takes 4 or 5 cartridges, they're called ink tank printers. Typically we have them ready immediately. So you simply give us your empty cartridge and we give you a full one and you're ready to go. I would say this very much depends on your supplier and the type of equipment they use and the refilling techniques they use. I would say absolutely there are substandard refillers out there, but the key to it is to use a refiller who you trust. So on my behalf, I can assure my customers that I've invested heavily in the best possible refilling equipment, that I use best practice refilling techniques, and most importantly, that I quality test all my refills before they leave the shop. Absolutely. If you get a good quality refill or compatible cartridge, it will last just as long, if not longer, than an original brand cartridge. Absolutely. Bring your printer into us and we can have a look. Often it's free of charge.